afternoon, everybody. This is Coach Terry Awls, and we are on Let's Talk Hoops with Coach Awls. And today we wanted to just talk about the current pandemic. I got a couple questions here that got sent to me. If we're going to have an AAU season, the problem with the coronavirus now is that it has threatened our 2021 AAU season as we go into May. We may or may not have a May at all. It depends on what states and how you interact and what the conversation is going to be with high school coaches for June, because usually June players go with their high school teams, but there may be some exception to where AAU will be allowed to at least that first week in June to kind of have access to basketball only kids that can come in and just play maybe one weekend in June, if that. Worst case scenario, we get pushed to July and have every weekend in July. And the NCAA has been talking about having something as early as the first week of August so kids can get seen. So it's going to be quite a work to work with high school coaches. Different states have different rules on that. So I know some of those rules are going to get relaxed, but it'll be very interesting to see where we go as far as the 2021 class. If you are familiar with field level, I am currently with Hobson Elite. Last year was with Ohio Celtics. We are on field level for our 2021 class and beyond with Hobson Elite. Finishing up some recruiting for 2020 with Ohio Celtics. But our Hobson Elite class, we're on field level. So if coaches want to reach out to us, please reach out to me on field level. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. So I'm all over social media. So, but the goal is to kind of get as many kids in school as possible. As most of you know that. We're trying to instruct and tell our players, if you are on field level, if you are not a Division I player, understand that coaches, when they look at your profile, if you're not selling out gyms, or you're not that high profile kid that coaches are going. Everybody wants to play D1. It's not necessarily the end all be all. D2, D3, JUCO, NAIA. You just want to go play basketball. And if you truly are a basketball player, you don't want to get labeled that way. Also, another recruiting tip when talking to kids about is when coaches call you or when coaches text you, don't dismiss a D3 or NAIA or JUCO coach, because they have friends that are at the D2 and the D1 level. Kids make that mistake saying, well, I'm not playing D3, I'm not playing NAIA. And what you've done, now you've labeled yourself, so that coach that you just blew off has friends at the D1, D2 level and beyond. A lot of these guys have NBA ties and ties overseas. And so when those guys move up, they're going to remember, okay, this kid blew me off, so I don't want to have any affiliation with him. So you got to understand that the coaching circle is very close-knit, and those guys look out for each other. So you got to understand, you don't close any door. Keep every door open, because those are going to be the coaches, and those are going to be the things that you're going to want to rely on when it comes to you getting recruited. Academics are a big part of whether you can fall D1, D2, D3. If you guys are sub 3.0, I suggest over the summer or something like that, you do something to build that GPA up. Make sure your SAT scores you're practicing for that, because that will allow you to get some academic money as well. So you can get a combination of scholarship money and academic money and really have to go to school for virtually free, which is what I'm sure your parents would want. Another thing during this downtime, get some workouts in, get some shots up, get some exercise in. If nothing else, you don't stand around in the house doing nothing all day. Make sure even if you get out for a walk or a run, if you have a basketball hoop or something like that nearby, or a park nearby, you can go get some shots up. You want to keep your mind, from a basketball standpoint, mentally focused, mentally tough. You want to make sure that you are in that mindset of when this AAU thing breaks out, you're mentally and physically ready to go. I know for our Hobson Elite team, we are starting a Zoom chat for our players, so I can kind of connect with my players. They can connect with me. We can kind of talk hoops, or we can talk life. Because this is a really an interesting time that a lot of you have not. I've never gone through it, and it's an adjustment. So make that adjustment, but also you got to stay mentally sharp and mentally focused. um, we will come out of this. We will be okay. It's just a matter of time. So we've got to weather the storm. We have to be smart. We got to take care of our minds, bodies, and soul. We got to be physically, mentally tough, but understand that this too will pass. Um, we have want to discuss as far as in the recruiting stance and aspect, um, what you want in a school. I think that most kids make the mistake of, I like that coach, and there's nothing wrong with going to that coach or the school, but if the coach wasn't there, would you still want to be at that school? Um, and think about an environment that you want to grow in as a young man, because you'll be at that school for 4 years. So if you're, we had a kid that committed to a school up in New York. It's going to be a great fit for him. He's in New York, which is awesome. And we've got a kid in Wisconsin. I mean, those environments help you grow as a young man. We got kids in Ohio, we got kids in Michigan. For me, it's like it's a joy to be able to see the players that I've coached, go on the secondary education. Even my son, who's going to play college basketball, just proud of him as my son and me as a father. But I'm proud as a coach to be able to say that we help kids get into college, and I think for that burden for a parent to be able to have your son go to school and play a sport that he truly loves. But then he's gonna grow as a young man. He's gonna develop as a young man. He's gonna learn what it's like to be on his own. My son is moving into his dorm or apartment here in a few months, and he's gonna be on his own. But he's matured and he's learned that, and I couldn't be prouder. And we've got a great group of 2020 kids that I've been with for a few years that I just absolutely love. Just simply the best. And these guys I've really have kind of grew up with, and kind of they've been a large part of my life. Now I've got a new crop of 2021s that are coming in with Hobson Elite. We have a ton of talent. We've got length. We've got athleticism. This will be one of the most athletic and long teams I've ever had. And there's size, there's speed, there's shooting. But we're gonna start it with defense, as I always like to start it with defense. So I'm from the Nolan Richardson and Mike Krzyzewski press, and pressure breaks pipes type of thing. And so looking forward to the Hobson Elite 17U team that I'll have this year. Looking forward to interacting with different coaches, building the network from field level. We're at almost 400 coaches right now on field level in our network that we have access to from a recruiting standpoint. So just being able to do those things and be able to help kids out, it's a blessing for me. It's a blessing just to be able to help somebody else and not want nothing in return, but just to see them succeed. With a lot of downtime, it forces you to kind of think different ways. But I want you guys to kind of stay encouraged. Get out, get exercise, touch base with family and friends that you haven't talked to in a long time. Get out there and understand that this is a time where you kind of seek your purpose. What is your purpose? What is my goal? What do I want to do? How do I want to be seen? Because when you come out of this with this downtime that you've had for 4, 6, 8 weeks, be a better person, if nothing else. Read a book, watch a documentary, something like that. Work on your craft. Work on, if you've never learned a foreign language, get on Babbel and learn a foreign language, just so you can learn the basics. So it stimulates your mind. Make sure you're physically fit. Make sure you're eating right, guys. Make sure that you kind of touch base with who you are. And I know for the 2020 class going into college, I wish you guys all the best. My 2020 class, I still have a fine affinity for. So proud of those guys from the Celtics that I've coached the last few years. Just couldn't be prouder of that group. And I know you guys will do well at the next level. I know you guys will represent very well, and I know you guys will be amazing citizens on campus. For the 2021 group that I have with Hobson Elite, I'm just learning you guys. I know a lot of you guys know me. I know a lot of you guys as well. I've seen you guys play. Looking forward to coaching that group as well. It is a group that is going to be dynamic in every aspect. A ton of talent. Again, but we're hoping that we can get a June in. So worst case scenario, we get pushed to July. I don't think that they're going to cancel AAU season altogether. I think there's going to be a huge pushback for college coaches to say, "Hey, let's let us get July, even if there's no fans. Will we get to get our teams out there in front of coaches only? That will be a different aspect of it to play a game without fans. But those talks are in discussions. We've been talking with coaches and NCAA officials about how that is going to look, how that's going to go. So we're hoping to hear something, hopefully here in the first week of May, see what's going on. I know they're doing some things in Kentucky right now that are going to affect us, and Indiana is in discussion as well. I know Michigan, they've got their stay-at-home order until the 15th, so that'll push them back for a lot of stuff. In Ohio, we're going to kind of open stuff back up slowly in May and see what happens. But take care of yourself. Make sure you're staying properly hydrated. Make sure if you don't need vitamins, make sure you get that stuff, because that stuff is from a making sure you're physically fit is going to be vitally important to your health. Um, I want to kind of talk again about as you going into from your junior year to your senior year, what college coaches are going to be looking for. They are going to be looking for not only if you can make a play, what happens when things don't go your way? Are you gonna pout? Are you gonna hang your head? Are you gonna be a team player? When you get pulled off and the coach sits you down, are you gonna pout? Most of these coaches, especially during AAU, they get to see a lot of who you really are. In high school, there's not a lot of college coaches going to gyms, or from small colleges going to some of these high school gyms. But the AAU is where it's really gonna kind of take hold. But as we post film and post your grades and GPAs and stuff like that and test scores, it allows us to kind of see where your level is at and what coaches are going to be looking for. They want team oriented kids. Do they want skill? Absolutely, they want skill. But they also want individuals that can grow, that can be a part of a team. That's not about me. They want to know that when the chips are down, if they can rely on you. They want to know if it's a 3-on-1 fast break and you don't have the better shot, you giving up good shot for great shot, which means you're dishing it off to somebody else to score. Or if you're going to come down and take bad shots and do bad possessions and come back down, if you turn the ball over, are you the first person back? Or are you lagging behind because you got the ball stolen or what have you? You got to understand attitude means everything. Coaches check out attitude. They really, really do. So you have to understand now, you have to change the way you used to think, if you were thinking that way, and what coaches are looking for, because they don't want me players. They want we players. They want skill. They want kids that play hard, even if if the game is out of hand. Are you still playing hard? Or are you just giving up? Or are you just kind of going through the motions? Don't go through the motions. As hard as you work to get to the top, guys, work harder to stay there, because coaches are going to see those things. They can see so much in clips, but when we send them full games, they want to see, okay, man, highlights show you one thing. Clips show you exactly who a player is. If he's working his rear end off on defense, if he's boxing out, if he's talking on defense, that's one thing that's a lost art. I'm telling you guys right now, if you don't learn to talk and communicate on defense as well as offense, it just makes you a better player. It makes you a better team. To be able to be vocal and be able to communicate to your team on it's a back screen. I got it. Understand that, hey, scratch the screen, come on this way. Those are the things that coaches kind of like, oh wow, this kid is advanced. He can score, he can shoot, but then he's talking, he's communicating to his teammates. Those are the things that they really, really are interested in. They want high IQ, they want skill, they want will. They want kids that have the will to win more than anything. If you're just gonna lay it on the line and give it all you got, coaches want that. If you're gonna go through the motions, they're gonna pass you by. So whether you're getting recruited D1, D2, D3, NAIA, or JUCO, and we've got kids all over the spectrum for 2021 and 2022 that'll be at all those levels. Understand what coaches are looking for. Be careful. Take care of yourself, guys. We will be back in touch. This is Let's Talk Hoops with Coach Awls. We will be out to you guys on YouTube, iTunes, We're going to be all over social media. First run, this is how we do it, guys. Be blessed. Take care.